Hello, another quick live. I've been to the boot sales and I realise I still have a load to show you, which was from last week. There will be more on this week's because it seems people do quite like a bit of a haul. And it's coming to the end of, well, not the end of boot fair season because we have a little way to go, but I've got the sun in my eyes there. But I'm fully aware that I'm stocking up. Part of me is feeling a bit nervous about the winter season. I'm going to do something about that. That's right in my eyes. Hang on. That's better. Right, so I'm kind of stocking up, I suppose, or looking for things that I'm going to be selling in autumn and winter. I've never really felt the need to stock up before. I think perhaps my instincts are telling me that affordable clothing could be thinner on the ground, but finding it might take longer going around charity shops. And for me, time is a very precious commodity because I never seem to have quite enough of it. So anyway, I'm having fun filling my boots at boot fairs and seeing what I can find. Trying to look for unusual things, trying to look for things that are interesting. Stuff that I think people might want. That we all try and do that, don't we? So I'm understanding that very likely anyone's going to actually join me live because it's Bank Holiday Monday and it's tea time. But there we go. There's always catch up. So on this particular day, which was actually last Sunday, not yesterday, I spent £43. So I don't itemise everything, but I tend to write what I've got, so I've got an idea. Hello, Jane. Lovely to see you. I spent £43 in total and got 15 items, which works out at £2.85 per item. I mean, that's averaging it out. Maybe that's not the best way to do it, but, you know, a lot of this was clothes because clothes are what people are getting rid of. First thing I found, I'd love this for me. I'd still love this for me. It's brown, however, not black. If it had been black, there's no way I'd be parting with it. However, it's a lovely velvet. The writing in here isn't brilliant. Like I say, I'm wrestling with... It's not just a long velvet skirt, but it's a velvet skirt that has this lovely feature. The buttons down the side. I'm showing you really badly. Where are they now? There they are. These lovely buttons down the side and split. These actually work, so you can undo if you're feeling daring. I thought that was kind of cool. Very steampunky. It's in brown, not black, as I said. So much as I like brown, it's not really my colour. So who's it by? That's probably the thing. I should tell you the brand. I'm trying to keep my overheads as low as possible, so I'm investing money as hand over fist at the moment. I'm trying to keep the cost per item and what I spend low. So this is a 14 and it is Peruna, which of course is the Marks and Spencer's brand we all know and love. Is that backwards or is that? Okay, the split is actually at the back, the buttons. So it really does have a nice steampunk feel about it. Loving that. I love all those sort of things. Satin covered buttons. What could be better? Next, we go for something that is somewhat unusual. Yes, we have, depending on which way you put it, it's one of these with the, either purpley or greeny. Yes, purple is a particular favourite too, but that's a 14. Yeah, well, if I ever come across them, I do tend to grab them. This I liked because it was mad. It's a denim jacket. Yes, never goes out of fashion. But like I say, it sort of has a blue-green sheen to it, which doesn't look quite as lovely on the screen as it does in person. And it's all on the back as well. So I don't know if this has been upcycled or what's happened, but it's by a brand which, again, I've never heard of, the Rock and Rev. Rock and Rev, Rock and Revolution, something like that. It's a 12. Classic denim jacket. I think it's got any information. Sometimes I'm not that bothered about the brand if I think the style is cool enough. It's 100% cotton, which is nice. And it's not an old piece, but it's got... Someone's going to love that. Oh, here we go. The office is getting a little bit crowded. This distressing is obviously part of the design. Not something I accidentally did on the way home. Oops. Right. I'm stacking things again. That's why we have problems. Right, I'll just put that back. Bear with. Oh. So, right. Onwards. This is just the order in which I sort of stack them in. A little skirt. White stuff, I don't pick up a great deal of white stuff, but there's stuff that is in velvet I rather like, and it's had nice 5-pointed stars on it in kind of a charcoal grey. And this is all appliqué, really rather nice. Cute. I think mini skirts are definitely a thing because you can wear loud tights underneath. And that's quite cute. That's only a 12, I think. No, it's a 14. It's a size 14. They're not all, I've mixed everything up because what happens is I get it home, I go through it all, and I tend to put like with like and order things slightly so that I know what's what. So these are going to be all different stalls. Some of them are scrabbling about on a tarpaulin on the ground. But I get some of my best finds because other people can't be bothered. And I don't blame them because it's not the most comfortable place to be, but I don't mind. I saw this, I felt it, and although it doesn't look much, it's quite a thin knit jumper with sort of different colour at the neck and end of the cuff, and it's got no label in it. But the feel of it said, well, this is going to be mohair or something worth an investigate. So when I went in, I got that. Now that is Brora, B-R-O-R-A. And even though it doesn't even say that anywhere on this label, I know that little logo with it. It's like a thistle. It's like a little Scottish thistle. So that's really rather nice. And yeah, 61% Super Kid mohair. Didn't know there was such a thing. Some nylon and some wool. So it was the mohair that I was feeling. Now, I do have a problem with mohair and it makes me itch. So I don't tend to handle that for too long. But someone will love it. Next we have yet another little known brand that I find will sell if you can find it. These are Royal Robins. They're in a large and they are the ubiquitous hiking, walking trouser, and these are the zip-off convertible ones where you can make them in shorts should you so wish. So Royal Robins is one of those brands that I think it must have, I've got half the field in here again, I think it must have a following. Particularly for sort of hiking and being in hot countries. And whenever I've had a piece of it, it has gone out for a decent amount of money and quite quickly. Not something we'll see every day, mind you. Got a bit of a denim jacket thing going on here. This looks like an ordinary kind of bog standard denim jacket, but I looked in the label. I remember the Warner Brothers stores, along with the Disney stores, that every shopping mall would have them. And when we were in London, it was quite a thing to go along and treat yourself to something from Warner Brothers. It was having a retro moment, because it was retro even then, obviously. But on the back is Taz Angel. Now, there seems to be some kind of hookup between Taz and Harley or Hell's Angels or what have you. There's a lot of these that appear. There's not too many in this design. He's all embroidered, it's very nicely done, and with a nice leather collar. So for the couple of quid I paid for that, I'm pretty sure that, seeing as the 90s are having a moment again, so is this stuff. I think that is, I mean, it is a men's, although it's obviously unisex, and it is a medium, but that's medium for a man. So organised hustle, I like that. I've got my mug of tea, of course. You've had no interest. A denim dress, rock and rev. Well, that's a shame. Maybe I've muffed up somewhere there, and it's not a thing. But I just kind of, with the sequins, I thought it was enough. Had it been a plain denim jacket, I might not have bothered. But we'll see. I'm quite happy to let things sit. I'm not necessarily a flip it quick kind of person. I've got over 2,500 items in my store. I have a reasonable turnover of stock, but stuff sits around, and I might reduce it. But I'll keep it rolling because it's often the one thing that somebody's looking for, just in their size. So I'm not too hasty in trying to get rid of something if it hasn't gone in the first month or so. But we all do it different ways, you see. We all do. Oh, what's this? Because it's been a week since I've seen it. Yes, hopefully. Yeah, the Taz one is cool. Where do I store it? Well, that's a good question, Organised Hustle. Although it looks a mess in here, this is not where I store my stock. It's where I process it. I actually rent two single garages, which are next door but one to each other in a block, and that's about a couple of miles up the road in a place called Hadlow. The first one I found about, I basically stuck a note on a message on Facebook Marketplace and a couple of other local sites and said, has anyone got a garage to rent? And that's how it began. And then when I was at the other one, then a neighbour came up and said, oh, are you looking to rent a garage? I said, well, actually, I could use another one. He said, well, I'm having mine repaired. I don't use it. I'm retired. Don't need to store things. Would you like to rent it off me? So I do. You have to ask. I suppose you have to be a bit cheeky and ask. But yeah, so two garages. They're not totally watertight. They're fairly watertight, but I try and keep my stuff off the floor. It's bagged. It's in big IKEA zippy bags, and I try and keep everything as nice and big plastic boxes. And most of the time it does all right. It stores okay. What have I got here? Oh, this is Coles. That's why I picked it up. Again, I won't pick up everything Coles because, you know, that some little tops and things are, the market's a bit flooded with them. It is a high street brand, but it's one that has a following. I think everyone knows Coles, don't they? There we go. She says, not showing it. Coles. This is not a big size. I think it's a equivalent of a 10. But I liked the design. It's a kind of, sort of random thing. But again, with the change of seasons coming, people may need something a little smarter for those days when they do go into an office. It is viscose, but again, it was very inexpensive. I wouldn't, a charity shop would be asking probably £8 for this in my area, and I wouldn't have done it. However, for a couple of quid, quite happy. Oh, knowing all the questions. How long do you get rid of stuff? Actually, most of the time it stays till it sells. I had something sell the other day that I'd probably had in my shop for a couple of years. I mean, stuff isn't normally longer than 2 or 3 years, to be honest. It does go. But yeah, if I'm going to get rid of stuff, that's a pain in itself because you have to delist it. I will try and get rid of it at a low value first, just to clear, rather than. And then if I get anything that I think can't sell that anymore, I'll donate. Most stuff does sell eventually, I find. Can't speak for anyone else, that's just my thing. Now, these may have been a mistake, and they probably were. Right, these ordinary looking pair of jeans in a decent size. They're actually oldie. Now, they had a following a little while ago, but I picked them up because they had that on the bum. And I gather this sort of very embellished jeans is starting to have a bit of a moment again. They've also got rhinestones on the front. What I hadn't really paid attention to, and this is me being in a rush on the floor, in a boiling hot day, which it was incredibly hot that week, is the fact that someone has chopped the leg off and folded it over and hemmed it really rather badly. So, yeah, don't know. May have to sell those as is, declaring they've obviously been shortened, and see if they're worth getting rid of. Because, like I said, I paid a couple of quid for them. If I get rid of them for a tenner, it's at least I'm not out of pocket. Chrissy, hello there. Should I have known about this? Notifications, don't tend to pop up. Because I do lives, they just come up when they come up. I'm so strapped for time. I just tend to do it when I've got a bit of time and go, right, let's do it. So apologies for that. Not very professional of me. But hopefully anyone who's missed it can see it on a catch-up if they're bored and have got a moment. These were new. And these are Levi's. I couldn't grab these fast enough, I tell you. Levi's 511 Slim. Big E. Doesn't say Big E there. But it says Levi's Premium. Original style, responsibly made. They were 38 wide, which is a good size, and 34 long, which to me is almost more important. No, not really anything great to see here. Got 511, really lovely. But what I did notice immediately was the big E. Can't really show you very well the big E on the Levi's. Because they're the premium ones. They're the ones that people are paying a lot of money for. These are a big size. They are not selvage, and of course everyone knows you upend them and look for the the stripe along the inner seam, and it's not there. So they're not the highest value, but they're still pretty good. Should make me some money. Yeah, 511s. So I'm hoping, because I do find that men, I'm generalising here, I'm not suggesting all men do this, but a quantity of men seem to believe that it's good to buy your clothes in autumn or in spring. So 2 times a year, replenish the wardrobe. So I'm looking forward to quite a lot more men's stuff going out in the next few months. Yeah. If you can afford to be patient with it, and I know that sounds a bit odd, but I mean, if you can wait, it's a help. Of course, it's the space. I was talking to my sister about this because she's got an eBay shop, and I taught her how to do this a few years back. And she has a problem with storage, and I'm saying to her, get some nice big jumpers in, the big wool quality jumpers. And I'm saying, yeah, but you haven't got a lot of storage space. And this is the thing, which is why some people really favour going for small items like ties and scarves and jewelleries and stuff, because they do take up less room. Yeah, space is always an issue. Now I had to pick this up. Why did I have to pick this up? Because of this. Oscar. I think it cost me £2. I couldn't quite believe it. I said, oh, well, the jacket's £2 and this is £1 and this is whatever. This is actually... I see. Okay, I didn't figure this out at the time. It's a jacket. Hello, Craig. It's the monocle. Craig. Nice to see you. Hope you're all right. Have you missed the goodies? Not all of them. About half, I would say. It's a haul, and it's actually from a week ago when it was boiling. And I'm out buying, stocking up for winter, as you do. This is an Oscar jacket. Now, what's unusual about this is that this kind of long scarf thing is detachable. And yeah, it's a largan-looky. Doesn't look anything, does it, when it's been folded up my bag for a week. It's really just a largan-looky jacket. It can be dressed up or down, depending. I think it's wool, because a lot of their stuff is. It's very nice quality, Oscar. And although some seems to go for very cheap. Okay, 60% CV, 40% wool. I don't know what CV is. I can look it up. But still, people like Oscar. And yeah, there are some pieces that seem to go very cheaply, but I think it's worth holding your nerve and getting a reasonable price for stuff. Because the problem is, however desperate it gets, people start cutting the price on stuff. It puts the sold price down. Everyone thinks, oh, I've got to drop my prices, and it ends up being a race to the bottom, which serves no one. But obviously, if you've got sort of like 1,000 items that are the same as yours out there, then that's going to feel a lot worse. If you're picking out stuff that's quite unusual, as I try to do, still working on it, then I find it doesn't have such an impact because there's just not so many of them about. Oh, yes. Do like leather. I missed all the goodies, great. This is a bit creased up because it's been lobbed in a bag. It's kind of a 90s. It's not Calvin Klein, it's GK by Janelle. Janelle. Size 10, but it's a 90s sort of longer coat. It's just straight up and down design, nice big pockets at the front. Nice quality leather, not too heavy. Yeah, I'm hoping someone will enjoy that. I love it when stuff goes to a new home. Apart from the fact I make money from it, it's just satisfying to see that people are going to love something, Oh, excuse me. Right, what else have we got? Oh, yes. Again, I went by touch. Here am I buying jumpers in the middle of the hottest day of the year, or what felt like it, but I'm not. I know now what works for me, what sells for me. You might be a man. Yeah, you see, I'm not keen on shopping at all, which is bizarre, really, when you think of what I do for a living. Shopping for a business is fine. Shopping for me. But I'm lucky because I find things as I'm buying stuff for other people. I will find stuff for me. But if I had to go shopping, I wouldn't like it. This is a nice, long pullover, sleeveless, super, super soft, whistles, kind of jumper dress, tunic. I'm a bit at a loss what to call this. It's rather lovely. It feels incredibly soft. I do have a look at the fabric content. However cheap something is, I want to know that I'm going to be able to resell it because I don't want it sitting around. This is wool, nylon, alpaca. So it's the alpaca that's making it that soft. And it is. If I could wear wool, that's what I'd be wearing. Not that colour, clearly. In black. Oh. Wool in the itchy nose. Right. Things what I bought. It really was a clothes day. And again, I'm heading for the woolies and the big heavy wintry things just because I know how fast it comes around. This is a kind of a jackety thing, jacket coat, sort of boucle fabric, sort of wraps over at the front with a nice quality. I saw this clasp and thought that's probably something quite decent. And it turns out it's Max Studio, which is part of Max Mara, I believe. Or don't take my word on that. I'm pretty sure it is. It's meant to be the younger feel to it, I think. Nice shawl collar. Again, wrapping up layers, winter. We all know what's coming. Although I think for everybody's sake, we're praying it's not going to be a harsh winter because... right, where are we? Yeah, this may have been a bit of a fail. In fact, this probably was a bit of a fail because I can see a hole in it. I just saw the pattern and thought, oh, that's unusual. And it happened to be Ted Baker. But I jumped at it without, I gave it a cursory look through, but it has actually got holes. So I think that might be one that's not going anywhere. But such lovely colours. Great design. Sadly full of holes. What I tend to do is I'll bundle, because when I like cashmere and stuff, when I find it and I've checked it over and then I've got it home and suddenly found there is a hole. Coatigans, they can be, yeah, coatigans. And finding the hole, what I do is I'll bundle up a load of them together for someone to use or repair or do what they will with, because I'd rather they went to someone who's going to use them. And I don't want to give it to the charity shop if it's got holes in. That's not right. And I certainly don't want it to end up in landfill. Right, very nearly at the end. I do love it when I find a vintage bag. How cute is this? Cute little bag with a open up top pressing button. She says, can't get it to open now. Come on. Here we go. I looked inside and I knew from that kind of silky filling that is definitely vintage. Made in Italy. Cute little evening party bag. Sort of woven. It's got stuff inside to make it stand. These were very inexpensive. I could hardly believe it. I picked up this one. And this little piece of gorgeousness. This has got the most beautiful quality chain on it. Really heavy links. No wear. Just fabulous. And this is probably a kind of a lizard. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I could look it up. But it's really lovely in brown. Beautiful clasp. I shouldn't buy bags. They really, for me, they sell incredibly slowly. But I can't leave something behind. Leather lined. No branding whatsoever. Just a stunning vintage bag. So that will be going in my shop. I always think these sort of things never sell for anywhere near what I think they should. But again, I like to rescue them. Very last thing. I bought this from my jewellery friend. I hadn't found any jewellery on this particular trip. And it came in a lovely box too. A lovely box. Oh, hello, Susan. Hello, my lovely. Yeah, they will be, yes. I think people will be wrapping up, putting the layers on. This is, I think, a jadeite knotted, really cute, nice necklace. And it has a beautiful piece of moss agate, which you can't really see very clearly because the light isn't shining through it. I love moss agate. I can get lost in that world. So I kind of half picked it up because I liked it rather than because I thought it had a lot of resale value. But that's my dear friend who was in hospital recently, having surgeries, and she's out now and as perky as ever. I'm very pleased to say. That's what we like to hear. people getting well quickly from their afflictions and operations. So that was everything there for a total spend of £43. Normally I'll go to a boot fair and I might spend £30 if I'm, feeling spendy. Yeah, £30 to £40 my average spend. And I think I spent about £57 the previous time to this, 43 on this, and this weekend I have also spent probably just over £100 on stock as well. I try and get a lot for my money. I know that sounds obvious and stupid to say, but there are things I will spend up on if I absolutely know for certain they're going to bring back big money. I saw, there were other things there. There was electronics, there was toys, there were countless number of stalls. I mean, just an extraordinary number of people having to do it. But I'm kind of trying to not stick to my niches, but at least stick to what I know, because I can't do everything. Well, I certainly try, but I'm trying to do a little less of everything. Stick to what I know. I just got this idea of people sitting there in these countless layers of clothes. So I will do another live at some point. It's going to be a few days later of this Saturday just gone, and I also went again to the same boot fair on yesterday, on the Sunday, and came away with a lot of stuff. So yeah, stocking up for sure. My office is looking very, very crowded. Plus, of course, I have a massive backlog. I have a massive store of jewellery that I can list at any time. So even if we have hideous weather that I can't get out, that something occurs, I've still got that to fall back on, which, to be honest, I feel is like a bit of a cushion. It's not a death pole to me. It is actually money I've invested that I know I will get good money back on, but I need to sit down and tackle it because it's a different kind of work to this. This is my comfort zone, clothes. But I like learning about new things. So that was it, really. I've expended half an hour of time of yours and mine. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Yes, Susan, we really must catch up, without a doubt. And I hope the rest of you are all keeping well and that you're having happy hunting as well and enjoying it as much as I do. For someone who doesn't like shopping, I do not like boot fairs. So take care. See you all soon and stay well and healthy. See you later. Bye now.